Detailing is very important in any city, whether it be real life or this game. And I'm back again with episode 2 of Retailer's Guide. This time with 4 things that can change the look of the parts of your cities compared to just normal vanilla things. Before we move on, I just want to thank you all for supporting me since past year and helping me reach 1000 subscribers. I thank you a lot from bottom of my heart. It's been quite a ride, and I've also turned on YouTube membership. So if any of you generous folks want to support the channel, YouTube membership is a great way to do it. I have laid down what perks you will get in each tier of membership and would be really thankful if any of you support me via this so I can put some extra effort and make quality of videos even better. This could be a hit or miss, but in light of me getting 1000 subscribers, here's an ad. Things you will need. So you will need some certain mods that are available in Paradox mod and a couple which are available via GitHub. So you will need EAI Rocky Surfaces by the Broman 10, Grey Stained Surfaces by the Broman 10, Parking Lots by Dome, Riverbed Textures by Sully, Stain and Leakage Decals by Sully, Stain and Puddles Decal by Elgendo, Tire Marks by Sully, and Trash Decals by Elgendo. These mods are available in Paradox mod and you can get them from there. The other mod, known as Real Vision, you can get it from GitHub, whose link will be given down in description, and you can follow the steps to download it. Starting with transitions, as you all know, City Skylines 2 doesn't have any transition between roads and the ground. So if I come over here and try to place a road, you can see there is no transition over here between the road and the ground. Same thing also applies for the gravel road. So you can see nothing, there is no texture or transition. So let's come to this road leading to our campsites that we built in the last episode. Links down in description. So if we come to this extra detailing or extra assets menu and we come to ground decals, you can see we have got all the Real Vision decals which are photographed from real world and then converted into decals, thus giving you all that realistic effects that you have in real life. So I'll scroll down and I'll get this texture 93 road dust. I can turn on anarchy and switch off the snap to surface of an object and come to the line tool, and then from now I'll have to just rotate it to 90 degrees and reduce the spacing to 5.1, and it's still not enough. So to get even lower spacing, you can come to any other surface or any other decal which is smaller than this and which allows you to go even lower. So this line tool saves this setting, and when you go back to the other decal, the setting will be there, and then you can just now place this on the edges of the road. As you can see, there is some transition going on over here, and this looks much better compared to just what we had before over here, where it just randomly shifts from a gravel road to the ground. So at least this is a bit better than before. Similarly, we can do the same with asphalt road as well, but over here it is a bit prominent and it pops out a bit more due to it being too long, but we can still use it mostly on straight roads nevertheless. So again, I'll come to the extra assets menu and the ground decals, and I'll scroll up to find this texture 109 roadside grass, and you can see this decal has road texture on one side and grass texture on other side. And once I lay it down from here, you can see that it creates a nice transition and it's a bit visible. As you can see, it shifts from over here, but it also doesn't look as sharp as our usual vanilla option. as I said, this works better when you have like some sort of straight road over here. So you can see over here we have done the same thing, and this looks a bit better. The transition hides the edges quite a bit, and this doesn't look too nasty. And you can see we have done this for quite a lot. The other thing you can also do for some transitions is if you come over here and we come to net lanes. Over here we have two options. We have a gravel pavement transition, and then we have a tiled transition. So gravel transition also works pretty well. Even this works quite well, and it just smooths out the transition between the road and the ground. But again, this also works with the gravel road, so you can try this on gravel road as well. And the other transition is tiled transition. You can see this adds a sort of tiling to it, and this is better for our pedestrian street. And here are some examples for this. Now we can refine all of this even more with some dot effects. These can be achieved by using some stained surfaces. So I'll come over here and move to surfaces and ground surface, and over here you will get all the bromance surfaces, and I'll grab this one and draw it out on the edges. And then I'll grab a thin one and have its radius a bit larger. And you can see that this has added some dirt on the gravel road, and it looks like the gravel road is dirty and it's just not like a completely clean gravel road. So this looks pretty good. And you can also have multiple variations of this. One of them is dirt patch. So process is simple, making a small radius with a thick or medium texture, and then grab the thin one and have its radius a bit larger. And there you go, you have now a dirt patch. And you can also combine this with some dirt on middle of road as some sort of tire marks or wet mud or dirt. So you can see over here, along with the dirt patch, we also have this sort of effect over here where we have like a wet mud effect over here on the lane, and then on the outside we have like a less muddy texture, and then we have our usual transition texture that I showed you before. And similarly, you can do the same thing on an asphalt road. In an industrial zone, the roads are never clean. So you will never find a road which is this much clean. So you can apply the same things over here. And combine it with Sully's tire mark textures. And you can see this adds to the road so much that you have like a muddy texture where the vehicles and trucks are going, and then you also have the tire marks to show that the vehicles are heavy, and while braking they have like this sort of tire mark details. And I mean, this is much better than what we have over here with this sort of just plain vanilla road. So this is how you can also detail your industrial roads, and here are some examples of dot effects. coming to our subtle detailing that will elevate how this looks even more, and we will be using Elgando's puddle decals, and the best thing about them is that you can literally stack them. So over here you can see this is quite a faded texture and decal, but if you click multiple times while placing, you can see that this has converted into like a puddle. So the edges are a bit rough, but in the middle where we have stacked it, we have the actual puddle over here. And you can also see this reflecting other props and things and the trees. And you can also have the grass one. So this one has a green tint to it, so it shows that there is grass underneath this puddle, or maybe there is some moss or algae over here. Or you can have the sand one, which has a brown tint to it. And if you want to add these on asphalt, you literally have a dedicated pothole for this. So you can come over here and add a pothole, and you can see this pothole has some cracks in it. With this, you can literally have like this sort of effect over here, and like have a sort of like this thing where it shows that the truck, whenever the vehicle is going from over here, it is making like some wet marks over there. So you can have quite a lot of effects, and you can just see that vehicle just went past. And you can also do the same with your usual residential areas or downtown alleys where you think a wet road or puddle makes sense. And as again, here are some selective examples of wet road or mud effects. The last one is gravel parking lot. We can already place asphalt parking lots and make our own custom ones via invisible parking lot road, but sometimes you just want to make a gravel parking lot. So to make it, we will come over here. I'll flatten this whole area out because to place any decal in the game, you need to have like a flat land so the decal doesn't behave badly with the terrain. So I'll grab this level and just flatten it a bit over here. After this, we can come to our real vision decals, and I'll scroll down till I find this one, texture 35 Arial, and I'll grab line mode, reduce the elevation to -0.4 meters, reduce the spacing a bit and have some random rotation, and place this guy like this. And now we can add some variations, and for variation I think I'm going to add this one, texture 18, and have its elevation to be at -0.3, and then we can reduce the spacing and have a lot of spacing variation and offset variation, and then place it here and there. So this adds to the gravel look, and it looks like this is a gravel or mud ground, and we can add a bit more of other ones. So maybe this one to show that there are some rocks and everywhere, so we can have it at -0.4 meter and then just spam it here and there. Or if you are making a small one, you can place them strategically and accordingly how you have planned it. And after all of this, we can add a little bit of grass variation, so not a lot, but just a little bit, just to show that there is some grass as well. So it's the same -0.4 meters, but some more offset variation here and there. Like this. And now we can start placing domes parking lot. So you can see we have got some invisible option, and I will grab this one, turn on show marker because you can't see them without this, and I'll start placing them. So you can already see that you can barely see them with these decals, but don't worry, everything will be fine. Just make sure and have a bit of gap between them because otherwise they will not work properly. So, and then with the invisible road you can connect them like this, and now they should be working, but as you can see you can't see them and you don't know how it's going to look. So to add to the visual look, we'll come to find it and come to the fences, and I'll grab this one and I'll turn on show marker, and I'll start placing the fences over here. And now that I have placed the fences, I can come to move it, select only props and select all of them, and with the page down I can shift them underground, so just a little bit so that I can barely see them, and this will add to the visual look that, oh yeah, here is our parking lot, and you can detail things accordingly. So maybe placing lights or maybe placing some rocks or bushes here and there, and you can finish things off with some Sully's tire mark decals. So sometimes they are a bit hard to notice and make it notice, so you'll have to place it multiple times at one place like I'm doing right now to just make them visible, because we have added so many layers of decals. And you can see this is how it looks, and I've done the same thing over here, but just added some lights and some bushes here and there to just fill things up. And you can also break things with these Elgendo's puddle decals. Again, here are some examples of gravel parking lots. So this was episode 2 of Detailer's Guide, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, then please hit like. And if you want to see more of these detailing guide or realistic builds or these tutorials, hit subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.